Hi, thank you for staying over. Thank you, Miguel, for being here with us. He's the director of Suro, the film we just watched. And yeah, thank you for presenting us with this piece and being here with us. I would like to say that I know Miguel from his trajectory as a short filmmaker. I mean, he has done like many different shorts that have been like around the festival rounds, like all over Europe and America and like basically everywhere. But this is your directorial debut, right? And it comes to my mind like you are from Basque Country, and this is like a film from Catalonia. So how it comes?
Thank you. Hi everyone. Thank you so much for staying here, and thank you so much to RIFF Film Festival for inviting us to be here. It's great. Yes, I was born and raised in the Basque Country. When I was 18, I moved to Barcelona to study university, and when I finished university, I was a bit without not knowing really what to do, and I was waiting for a scholarship to go abroad. And that summer, in 2010, I accepted the proposal of the relatives of my other half at the time to work as a laborer in the cork peeling campaign in very close to where we filmed this film. And there I discovered a world very rich in textures and sounds that I thought it could be very cinematic, that I had never seen in film. And I also had very contradicting feelings. You know, I was coming on behalf of a landowner, but I wasn't one. I could speak Catalan, but I'm not one. I was working as a laborer, but for me, I was gonna leave in one summer, and for them, that was their trade, that was their life. So I took those feelings and that universe, and I thought one day I will write something about that. So many years later, when I turned 32, I started thinking of my first feature film, and I was in a long relationship. We were asking ourselves all these questions. Do we want to live in the city, in the country? Do we want to have children? Can we live in a way that is closer to the image that we have of ourselves? So from that magma is that the story, and then I was born.
Okay, so how many years has been the process then?
So like the first draft of the script was finished on December 31st, 2016. And we shot this film in summer 2021. We were ready to shoot it a year before, but there was a little virus called, and we had to postpone a year because the cork peeling can only take place during the summer because it needs heat so that you can peel off the cortex.
Right. Yeah.
But if it gets at the end of the summer, it's too dry and you can't peel it off. So once we missed the summer window, we had to jump 12 months. Yeah.
And I mean, I know that you have like writing this script with somebody else, right? So maybe we can talk a little bit about that process. I mean, I know that like you just said you have kind of like a background story behind that inspired you to write this story and this character. So how did you work that together?
Yeah. We worked with Francisco Costablis. He's a brilliant Argentinian scriptwriter. So, as you said, it's the starting point is something that is close to my experience, but then the aim was always to make a fiction film. I haven't experienced what you've seen in the film is a pure work of fiction. So I started writing it with already Paul Lopez, the actor who plays Ivan. Before there was any script, we started like doing in a residency program improvisations that I would write, and we would put them together, and I would be playing the character that then became Elena with my little camera, so it was all very clunky. I'm playing and I'm also recording, and then I studied what we recorded, and I would write something for the next day. So we did this workshop process for like 2 weeks, and then it became very apparent that we needed to have a film with 2 points of view. The point of view of Elena and the point of view of Ivan, that, essentially the tension of the story is that it should be the same point of view because it's a couple trying to restart their life, but as soon as they arrive there, they have, contradicting, conflicting points of view. So once we knew that it was a two-hander, I wrote for a year or so, and then it was all kind of there, but when it's like cooking, yeah? You have all the ingredients, but it's not compact, so that's when Francisco came on board, and that's when the script really, clicked in a way, and we went with that version of the script to the public funding, and we got them, and then I continued writing myself without Fran for next drafts, and then the non-actors, because the rest of the cast, Elena and Ivan.
The cast. Yeah, I really wanted to ask about that. So you kind of like experiment on this residency with Paul about like you kind of did like immersive writing. So instead of having like a character writing down, you use the character to improvise and write the script. And how do you came with Helena? And then also like the workers and Karim, because they're not professional actors, right? And do they come from, well, tell us a bit about that, and then I'm also interested to know, like, did they know anything about Discord? They're from there, right? Oh, yeah.
So the film has like 3 layers of working with actors, let's say, because they're all acting, they're all doing, playing roles that they're not themselves. But Elena and Ivan, Vicky Luengo and Paul Lopez are professionals. So I explained a little bit about what we did with Paul, and we graduated with that. We built it up, and when we knew that we needed an Elena to be holding at least half of the story, if not more, because the film is in Catalan, because we needed someone that could incarnate the ambiguity that these 2 characters have, because they're constantly fighting between the image of themselves and what they are. There weren't that many options in Catalonia to have an actress that could, do that, and Vicky was gracious enough to like the script, and we worked very well together. We never rehearsed scenes. We always built up, like we read the script, we talked a lot, and we sort of created moments from the past. So then comes the level of Karim. So Ilyas El-Wadani, who now is on a journey to work as an actor, but had never done it before. So what we did with Ilyas speaks perfect Spanish, perfect Catalan, and it was a process of doing like 2-month, nearly 3-month sessions, weekly, 2 days a week, that we would workshop this idea that we would leave Ilyas behind and we would enter Karim. So Ilyas knew what Karim would have to do in the film, but it was again a matter of not so much rehearsing any scenes that he would do, but to know this guy, to know this guy that has just crossed the border from Morocco, that doesn't speak the language. So we created all these memories, so that when he's in the shoot with the rest of the cast, he can actually know where he's coming from. And I don't like working from the emotions of people, because I think with natural actors that's not safe, that's, I don't like meddling with their emotionality. I work more sensorially and physically, so that we know that the separation between the real person and the character is very clear. And we're playing, like what we do in school when we're in kindergarten, we play, we pretend that we are other people, and then we go back to class and, you're you and me. So that's how we worked with Ilyas, and then there was the level of the workers. So the workers, we did a casting process in the world of cork pillars. So they're all workers from the forest, but again the idea was that they were never going to play themselves, but they had to have this capacity of play. So then what becomes key, more than rehearsing, because they never rehearsed, it was the process of casting and knowing that they could jump in improv and me giving them what the sequence would be. And every so often I was with them physically in those scenes, because sometimes I feel that for me at least, it's easier to ask someone to be present if I'm present, and I tell, look, you can touch me, it's okay, we're pretending that we're having a fight, let's do it, and it's okay. So I would ask them, you can push me, so it's all right, yeah? So then the process of casting was long, but when we found those people that had this ability to imagine and play, then the shoot was kind of easy, I would say. It was flowing. It was flowing, and Paul and Vicky, the professionals, they almost worked like in a jazz band, that they are the soloists, and they have the written music and the rest don't, so we can go and improv for a longer time, and then the professionals have the responsibility of landing it in the written music. So the first takes, of course, would be much longer, and then we would go, okay, this is it, let's try and compress this so that it happens faster, less time, and we would work like that.
Oh, that's fascinating. Yeah. I'm sure it was a lot of fun.
It was fun, yeah.
Yeah.
It was stressful because it was a 24 days shoot, so it was,
Yeah.
you know, press, but we had fun, yeah.
Yeah, I also wanted to talk about, I mean, there's a lot of tension, you know, growing and growing. There's like the human tension, there is like the social tension, and then somehow back there you have also like environmental tension, you know, you have like, and it just keeps going. You go differently into it and you experience it as a first person, you know, as a first character there, and you don't know really where it's going. After, you know, the worker loses his fingers, and that's kind of like a moment where you're just like, whoa, what's going to happen? How did you decide to like break all that tension but coming into the party scene?
Okay.
Like how it comes, you know, that you just like, what was the decision of just like breaking it by the water, you know, in a way?
In the party, you mean?
Yeah, like, yeah.
Yeah. So the idea was because you know, if you ask me, so what is this film? It's a film that it revolves around the tension between the idea, the ideals, and the practical. No, so that happens at the intimate level of this couple, and as you said, it kind of, you know, it almost spreads in the work. So it has this social layer and in the environment, yeah. But it's the essence of it is this intimacy between those two, that, you know, they have this clash between what they think, the image, and the practical matters. So the idea was to have this build-up, growing tension that is more latent than patent,
Yeah.
you know. But of course, because the film is so much the projection of a life and pursuing it at, you know, we see the cost of that, what you lose in the way. It was important for me that they materialize the project, that they have it, that the material is there, the house is there, the way that they envisioned it in a way, you know. And once they have that, what then? So then there was this burst of, you know, this need that there would be an explosion, because when they materialize it and they have it, that doesn't satisfy them at all, you know. So in a way, it was creating a whole tension that would build up to that moment, and the little epilogue with the fire, which is, you know, just the end bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of human condition never to be satisfied in a way, right? So, yeah. And then, yeah, I just wanted to also talk about like the score. You know, more than the score, I mean the sound design, I think there's like this epic silence, like between the characters, and when you're like portraying, you know, with Elena, and then you're just like visualizing everything that is behind or like out of the screen more than like in what's happening actually in the screen. And I mean, I just have like these references from like Lucrece Martel or, you know, filmmakers that actually really work with the sound, and I think it worked like really amazingly to just kind of like bring it into the mood. And how was the work with your sound design?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so Shanti Salvador, who did the sound design, and Leo Logan, who did the direct sound, on-set sound. We always talked that this film, as I said, you know, it's a work of fiction, and it's told through two subjective points of view, Elena's and Ivan's. Yeah. So from once you anchor that and you think, okay, you know, it's gonna be subjective, and nature is gonna manifest itself in a romantic or romanticized way, or menacing and brutal way, because it's in the gaze of the characters. Because nature is not romantic or menacing. It's just is, you know. But it's in our look.
Yeah.
So
our perception.
It's our perception. So it was going to be always tied up to their perception, and there you have like leeway to, as you say, create much more than what you see, and amplify it, and you know, and create like different layers that they're not on the screen, and that's a lot of fun. And you know, I think also I was very much, I remember very much because I'm from the city, and when I was in that countryside, all those sounds, you know, the notion of getting lost, the notion of being surrounded or isolated, you know, they become very present. So in a way, it was an attempt to share that with the audience. Yeah, but always from the subjectivity of the characters.
Great, thanks very much. I think I'm going to open for any questions over here. Do you have any questions? Anyone? Don't be shy. Nothing at all? Yeah, we have a question. Maybe you can speak loud.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, so like this tension between the couple, was that something you thought about when you started writing the script, or did it somehow evolve into that with the characters?
Yeah, thank you. Did everyone hear that? Yeah. Yeah, it was always from the beginning because of what I said, no, that the film was this tension between a projection of a life, the ideals, and the practical matters. So it was always going to be between them two. But we worked a lot with the actors, and I think we discovered along the way with Vicky and Paul, is that these two have an energy. They have an energy that we see from the beginning, and this energy is attractive and is powerful. And when they are seen by others, it's even more enhanced, like in the first sequence. But it's an energy that turns conflicting very quickly. So then we asked ourselves with Vicky and Paul, why do they stay in this relationship? And we thought, well, because conflict is not a healthy bond, but it is a bond. And it makes them stay in this couple, in this structure, for a long, long time. We don't even know if they're gonna stay together at the very end. They could, because I think it's a very human thing that we even it's conflicting or tensioned, we stay in these structures that don't make us any good. So yeah, we work from there. Yeah.
Any other question? Can we talk about the donkey?
Sure. Let's talk about the donkey.
I mean, it's really difficult to work with animals, and I just guess it was challenging to have like an animal on set that it plays a character, and it's actually one of the breaking points of their big, tension there. And just tell us how you wrote the donkey.
Yeah. All right. So my experience in that region, there were many, the father of my girlfriend at the time, he had donkeys. So I think it was related to that. But at the same time, when I grew up and I was living with my parents, my walk to take the bus, there was a lonely donkey as well. So I think donkeys are very special to me. And I think there is an innocence, there is this thing that is just the look of nature somehow that the donkey has in the film, that I wanted it to be there, and once the donkey is not, you sense that the film is gonna go in a more tensioned journey. And working with the donkey, strangely enough, I've done dogs and foxes, and this is my first donkey. But it wasn't, it wasn't all that tricky, because we didn't, it was all natural, like no anesthetic, nothing, and the donkey could really do it. And it was quite amazing because we thought, when you do these things, you think plan A, plan B, plan C, and you think, okay, if it doesn't work, we will have just the donkey and we will do it through editing or whatever. And no, the donkey, it's like, okay, and the donkey stops in front of her and lets her touch it, and when he was laying down, he was laying down for like 2 hours, just taking rests. So
yeah, when donkeys stop, they stop.
when donkeys stop, they stop. Yeah, but it was amazing, and
wow.
I kept on thinking of the Robert Bresson film, Balthazar, and I thought, yeah, donkeys are cool.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. They are. I'm just what we could talk about. How have the cast that were not professional received the film when they saw it? What was their impression, and what was the feedback from there?
Yeah. So I think I don't know, because I haven't made more feature films. So this is my first one. I was always very, I think scared is the word, of anyone from the cast or the crew to not like the film, because because we do these things collectively, and if they don't feel that it was worth it, it would be super sad. So when they saw it for the first time,
oh, maybe you can finish
yeah.
this program. Sorry about this.
No, it's okay. They liked it. So no, they saw it for the first time in the world premiere in San Sebastian in a huge auditorium, and
that's lovely.
And they were super happy. And Vicente, who plays Chema, because people were clapping and he was showing that he still has his fingers, so he was doing like this, and I'm okay. Yeah, no, but they liked it a lot. And because I told them when we were making the film, I told them you will have to do things that you wouldn't do. And I said, and it's not a film about the cork peeling. It's not a documentary, or the focus is not that there. And one told me, look, but for me, just the fact that people see that this material, that when they open a bottle of wine, comes from a tree, and there are workers that take it off, for me, just that fact is already something that is beautiful and that I like, so I want to be a part of it. So, yeah, they are happy.
Yeah, really nice. Thank you so much for
sharing
all this with us. And congratulations on your film. It's like so good.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.